To go out to the fort, you have to go on a foot ferry. And I don't have gravel. I'm not too good on boats, put it that way. And even though I have a National Parks Pass, it's another $37 plus tax, plus you have to pay for parking. So I have decided I did a little walk, and I'm just going to head out. I'm not one for cities anyway. Decided to stop at Charles Pinckney National Historic Site. William Matthews purchased the Snee Farm in 1828, and he tore down the damaged buildings and built this house on the original spot where Pinckney's house was. Eliza Lucas Pinckney, great aunt of Charles of Snee Farm Plantation, and her enslaved workers were the first people in the colonies to successfully cultivate indigo commercially in 1744. She shared her seeds with other planters. I've never walked on a path made of this before. It's really bouncy and flexible. It's probably good for your feet and legs. Charles Pinckney, like most other members of the plantation elite, was educated and trained for public service. In 1779, at the age of 21, he was elected to represent Christ Church Parish in the General Assembly of South Carolina. Over the next 42 years, he held many offices at the local, state, and national level. Pinckney retired from public life in 1821, when his term as a member of the United States House of Representatives ended. Ooh, it's muddy. This is the nature trail. It's all swampy. Gosh, I hope there's no alligators. Oh, it's getting too muddy. Ooh, I sunk there. Hope this leads somewhere. Oh, it is total mud. Yuck. That's a lake up there. I'm not crossing that. Rain's super, super heavy this morning. It was dark like night, and my drive was crazy. There'd be water over the whole road, both sides. You were just floating, hydroplaning, but you wouldn't even know you were coming up till you were right there because you could hardly see. So it was quite something. And now the sun is out, and blue sky and fluffy white clouds. The Snee Farm grew a lot of rice. They did it the inland method. They flooded the fields with water. When they went into Charleston, they would go by boat and go through the dikes and the waterways, and this is the footprint of one of the slave quarters. They're quite small, like a little mini cottage size. And here's another one. They had brick foundation, but then they would be built of wood. Oh, a real tiny foundation over here. Every tree is covered in that Spanish moss. The ones with flowers, the bigger ones, it just seems to Cling on to everything. The Pinckney family owned Sneed Farm from 1754 to 1817. Charles Pinckney inherited the property from his father in 1782. It was one of Charles Pinckney's 7 plantations. This was his smallest one. It only had 715 acres. But it was his favorite retreat from his Meeting Street house in Charleston. Well, I'm off for a walk in Georgetown. I almost fell asleep on the road today. I have slept at Walmart for 2 nights, and I don't sleep as well at Walmart as in the wilderness. And it's another Walmart night tonight too. So I'm hoping tomorrow, it won't be Walmart. Anyway, I'm going to walk around the historic district. The water under these businesses reminds me of Venice. I like the old one best. Some really big boats. The Walmart last night was so full of trucks. I've never seen so many transport trucks in a Walmart, and only one other camper van that must have pulled in after I went to sleep. I did sleep better last night, and I slept pretty well all through, just woke up once, which was good for me. So yes, it was a good night. Well, I'm in Myrtle Beach. I'm not here for the fun and games. I'm just sort of driving through. I went to Huntington State Beach Park, but I did not pay the entrance fee. I talked to them and they said the alligators would not be out yet because it's still too cold. So, and that's really what I wanted to see, was the wildlife viewing area, which see tons of alligators. Anyway, so I came on to Myrtle Beach, and I'm going to go to church here. I was too late for the first service, so there's another service starting shortly. And on the way, I grabbed the coffee for the cheapest price yet, and it was only 96 cents compared to $2.45 at a different McDonald's. They really range. Anyway, I'm going to go to church, and I'll be back with you later. Church was not very long, and I've been on the road, but I ended up on I-95, which I forgot to put the filters on, and I don't usually take main road. So I've stopped at this little place here. I'm off the main road now. This is Confederate First Line, General W.B. Taliaferro's Division, occupied trenches, crossing the road at this point, March 15 to 16, 1865. There's a stone here. Ellet's Brigade and Rhett's Brigade. The sun's so bright I can't tell if it's getting it. About Rhett's Brigade, the brigade of Colonel A.M. Rhett was repulsed 300 yards west on March 16, 1865 by Union troops under Colonel Henry Case. This is called the Battle of Aver-Rasboro, Confederate First Defensive Line, Carolina's campaign. Just a little pit stop on my way. Love everything to do with history. I went past this, whipped around, and came back just to have a look. Chicora Civil War Cemetery, dedicated May 10, 1872. Well, I'm in another Walmart again. Not my favorite places to stay, but I have found a place that I can stay at a trailhead tomorrow or something like that. It's at least it's a little green and I'll be able to cook and stuff. So I'll be traveling up towards Harper's Ferry and I will stay there, and it's about an hour further to Harper's Ferry. It is morning. I've been driving for a couple of hours. I'm heading to a spot about an hour, well, maybe half an hour or so south of Harper Ferry, because I want to spend the whole day there tomorrow at the national park. So I just stopped for a little break here. I saw this park, which they had signs early. There were people right behind me. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to stop in time, but they didn't hit me anyway. So I just need to stretch my legs, and there's a porta potty here. So there's a river and some picnic tables. But I am going to make a coffee, but just beside my vehicle. Just a little 2-minute walk here. To get the blood moving again. Oh, I hear the birds. It got really, really cold last night. I should have taken the extra blanket out from underneath my sleeping pad, but I will get that ready for tonight because I will be even 4 hours more north than I was last night. So it'll probably be even colder. So it was about 1 degree when I got up this morning, and it's 7 now. So first of all, I thought this was target shooting for guns, but actually it's for arrows. Oh, water's ready. Coffee time. Good. Peanut butter and banana. Breakfast time. Well, I'm in Virginia. Not far from where I'm hoping to sleep tonight. I think I have a wheel bearing on in my vehicle. It's sounding pretty bad. As long as it gets me back home. About another 1,200 miles to home, maybe a little more. Some nice hills around here. Nice big properties too, with paved driveways. To stop and cook real meal tonight. Yay! It's not quite what I was expecting from their description on iOverlander. It's right across from the house. It's just a parking lot on the side of the road. Oh well. I'm stopping for now. Just made some dehydrated hash browns with some dehydrated onions. I think it'll take a while for me to clean this pot. I think I'm going to get a different frying pan for my next trip. This one has been a pain. Right across the road, there's horses. I'm about an hour away from Harper's Ferry, and that'll be an all-day excursion tomorrow.